Hey, we're
What's
back.
going on, everybody? It is week wildcard weekend. It's wildcard weekend, and we are back. We took a couple weeks off for Christmas, and obviously had New Year's. So Hunter and I were kind of all over the place. Hunter also has a baby that they're expecting to give birth to. His wife is expecting to do that here any moment.
I've got to take this real quick.
Okay, so yeah, Hunter, and Brooke are in the final days of bringing this baby into this world. So he's actually dealing with something right now. It came at an interesting time. So anyway, as long as he can get back on here, we are going to go through each wild card game for the weekend. Um, Super excited, you guys. It's been a fun football season. It's been crazy overall. Hunter and I haven't really had the greatest year, but we haven't had a bad year either. We've pretty much been a little bit above 500 all year long, which for a year's worth of entertainment and getting to do this every single week and putting our picks out there for you guys, we'll take that. So can only go, up from here and be better next year. So we're excited for it. We're definitely excited to get to the playoff games. If you guys are playing any games this weekend and you're checking this out, whether you watch it live, whether you see this, on a post and want to comment, let us know what you guys are playing. Let us know where you guys are at, what you're thinking. To me, these games this weekend are really going to be a question of are the books going to do the same thing that they've done all year, which is this has been the craziest year of NFL betting as far as public versus the books. And there's a lot of big lines this weekend. So we will see if that holds true. I think that has been, we've talked about it multiple times on on this show, on the podcast, that with it being so many new bettors and places that are, people can bet with DraftKings, MGM Sports, whatever service you use, there's more and more and more people every year coming in. And I think Vegas has kind of failed, at least in football, to really adjust to what the public's doing. So, Hunter, everything all good, buddy?
I think so. I may have to go pick her up from work, but I won't get too far into the specifics of that. So if I've got to go, then that's why. So
well, we this shouldn't be too long. We got 6 games this weekend, and it really starts off with the game where I feel like the Chiefs are most likely to play the winner of this game. The Chargers and Texans. They kick things off with for everybody on Saturday at 3:30 Central Time. The Texans are 3-point home underdogs. All right, so Chargers are going in here. They're favored by 3, and really the Texans have sputtered towards the end of the season. Jim Harbaugh has obviously turned the Chargers around. They've looked much, much better this year. They're getting healthy at the right time, and it's kind of the opposite for the Texans. In my opinion, I think the Texans are the worst team left in the AFC. It's kind of it's probably pretty close to them and the Steelers. The Steelers have also sputtered down the stretch. Russell Wilson has looked, kind of like old school Russell Wilson as far as the last couple of years. When I say old school, he's looking like he's showing his age a little bit. So they're definitely interesting. And we got the Steelers and Ravens on Saturday as well. But we'll start with the Chargers and Texans. Hunter, what are you thinking on this game? Chargers going on the road at Houston. Chargers are favored by 3, man. What's your overall just first look opinion of this game?
well, let me just first say I've been a little bit out of the loop with everything going on in my personal life. So this is actually going to be more of a conversation. I don't really have my picks totally decided yet. I guess for me, I understand that the Chargers have more momentum and they've got a great quarterback in Justin Herbert. They got a great coach in John Harbaugh. But is it going to be enough to get them over the hump playing a team that has playoff experience at this point? The Texans obviously last year exited in round 1 whenever they got handled easily by the Ravens. I guess the question for me is, does that experience count for anything? D'Amico Ryans is also a great coach. C.J. Stroud is a great quarterback, although he has not, you know, had the year that he had last year, obviously. And you've got Tank Dell out for season. What's kind of your thoughts? How are you looking at this game? Because this is a very interesting matchup.
So I am taking the Chargers here. I'm taking the Chargers. I'm going to buy a half point. I'm going to go to the Chargers minus 2.5. But I think the big question, it's the thing that, the reason that CJ Stroud has not had the same kind of year, it's one thing, and it's that he hasn't had protection. I mean, the offensive line has not been the same as it was last year. All right. And obviously, they've had a funky year with missing weapons throughout the year.
Right.
Obviously they get their, best wide receiver back middle of the year. Things are looking good for them in that Chiefs game. Tank Dell has that huge touchdown catch to basically tie the game, and his season's done on the same play. And it's like that play just wrecked the rest of the year. All right. Now they did finish it off with a win last week. The season off with a win last week to get kind of back on track. It's just not a matter of can they protect CJ Stroud against the Chargers front? I mean, that's it. That's the question. If they can, then obviously the Texans have a chance. I mean, I think the teams are pretty evenly matched.
Right.
The thing about the Chargers is they do such a good job of muddying up the game. Like Jim Harbaugh plays the old school brand of football where it's kind of like the Chiefs this year. Like, he doesn't care how many points they score. He doesn't care how they have to do it. They're going to figure out a game plan and have a really good game plan to confuse CJ Stroud, to bring pressure, and whatever they got to do offensively, whether that's run the ball, whether that's take checkdowns. Hang on a second. My damn kids.
Huh. I get what you're saying for sure, because it does seem like they have been a very efficient team, but they haven't always blown people out. That doesn't seem to be what's important to them. So I like what you're saying there. Wish I would have. Who did the Texans even beat last week?
Kids, man, they had their new karaoke machine going.
Oh shoot. Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, that's my opinion on the Chargers and Texans. I would obviously like to see the Texans win. I don't really, as a Chiefs fan, want to face the Chargers. Both games were close. The old saying, it's hard to beat a team 3 times in the same season. So we would have that challenge as well. So I personally want the Texans to win, but I think the Chargers go on the road and cover. I think they're playing better football. I think they're a better football team overall. So that's my pick. Chargers on the road minus the 2.5. I'm really wanting to take it down to 2, but I'm just going to go ahead. Let's see. If I go to 2.5 here, I am going to go to minus 2 because it's only at 130. So official pick is minus 2 because that gives me not too much juice there.
It won't even let me. Let's see. I don't even think it's going to let me do Chargers minus 2. Yeah, it's not. It'll let me do 1.5, and it'll let me do 3.5, but and 2. So 1.5, 2.5, 3.5. But it's not even letting me go 2. I don't know why that is here on DraftKings in Tennessee, but that is the case. So I'm just gonna. I think I'm just gonna stay away from this game. I don't know.
Okay. So next up, you've got the Steelers going to. You got the Steelers headed to Baltimore. This to me is another interesting line. 10 points. Okay, the Steelers are 10-point road dogs here. Man, these large spreads throughout the season. I mean, this is traditionally when you see, the sport, the books just absolutely crush people. Yes. And over and over and over again, these large favorites are covering, right? It was that way in college football. It's been that way in the NFL this season. And so, the thought here is, of course, you take the Steelers plus 10. Like, that's the thought. I am not going to play this game because of what I just said. That spread is too big. My natural instinct is to take the Steelers here. But I'm going to try to learn from what's happened all season. And the Ravens absolutely can blow them out of the water. So I'm not touching this one. The Ravens are playing very, very good football. The defense has played much better down the stretch. The Steelers have done exactly the opposite. I mean, they look like they have nothing left. So,
well,
I do expect the Ravens to beat them handily.
And just to add to the conversation, betting on the Ravens in the playoffs, you don't, as far as we know historically, you don't really know what you're getting with the Ravens. Like, yes, they could do what they did to Houston last year and come out and win, by double digits, or they could have a weird first round flub, like they did against the Titans that one year. So now I know that was a different scenario, but what I'm saying is you just don't always know what you're getting with the Ravens in the playoffs. So I'm going to stay away from this one as well.
Yeah, and man, it looks, if you're looking at this and the bracket plays out like just according to seed, like the Ravens and Bills are on a collision course, right? That's what, the way the seeds play out.
Right.
The thing about this game is, I just mentioned how as a Chiefs fan, I don't want to see the Chargers for a third time. This is going to be the third time these teams have played as well. And it is a divisional game, right? It's a game against two teams that know each other very, very well. Lamar Jackson has not played very many games against the Steelers. Actually, he has been, he's been hurt in quite a few of those games over the years. So, I think this game is very, very interesting. I think the spread is interesting, and I think we're both doing the smart thing here of just staying away from it. So,
right.
Next one, we got the Broncos going to Buffalo. This is our first game on Sunday. Man, this spread is way too big for me, and it's the Bills 9-point favorites at home. I said 3 weeks ago that if the Broncos go to Buffalo, it would not shock me at all if the Broncos win the game.
Okay.
So I do expect it to be a close game. I think the Broncos defense is good enough to slow them down. I think their offense is playing well enough. They're a cold weather team just like Buffalo is.
Right.
If Bo Nix can take care of the football, and against Buffalo's defense, Buffalo's defense is not stout. Right? It's just not. Right. I think this has I'm not saying that they're going to go in and win. I'm not predicting the Broncos to win, but it won't shock me. I think this is going to be a very close game. So I am taking the Broncos. I'm taking them plus the 9. Yeah, you can get this line's moving too. I mean, it was 9 right now is what it was at, but it's minus 120 right now at 9. So, yeah, I'm taking the Broncos plus the 9 here.
Okay. My sports book won't let me do Broncos plus 9, so I'm gonna go plus 9.5. Broncos. I like everything you said. I do think the Broncos have some good momentum. Maybe a little bit of false confidence because of how well they played against the Chiefs last week. The Chiefs third stringers, but yeah, this is a good spot for the Broncos to go in because there's absolutely no expectations on them because they weren't supposed to win. I think their over under before the season started was like 8 or 9 games. I don't know if you remember what exactly it was, but they've definitely overachieved, and they're going to be that team that has the ability to go out there and play like they've got nothing to lose. So I am going to go Broncos plus 9.5 for all of the reasons you said, and then a couple of the ideas that I just had. So.
Yeah, you're 100% right, dude. Nothing to lose. I mean, they are on the upward trend as a franchise. This is just kind of house money for them. Rookie quarterback. I mean, yeah, the Broncos are going to be a force. I think they'll be a force in the next few years. With what they've got going. So we're both on the Broncos. You got them plus 9.5. I got the Broncos plus 9. Moving on, Packers at Eagles. I also love this game. Eagles are 4.5-point home favorites. I am taking the Eagles in this game, -4. That is my selection. I think the Eagles, in my opinion, are the best team in the NFC right now. Their defense has continued to get better and better as the year goes on. Obviously, the offense is playing better and better as we go as well. Saquon Barkley has been huge for them, and I think it's the opposite for the Packers. They just lost Christian Watson. Now, the thing that the Packers have going, obviously they brought in the running back from freaking the Raiders, Josh Jacobs. They brought Josh Jacobs in to kind of rely on him whenever they're in some of these moments. And, I think that could help them going on the road here. If they can establish the run, keep Jordan Love out of just throwing the ball a million times this game. Right. But I think the Eagles, I'm honestly surprised the line isn't bigger with how the Packers have played down the stretch. So I'm taking the Eagles here minus the 4.
Okay. I'm going to have to take Eagles minus 3.5. Everything you said. I think the Eagles are probably the most talented roster in the league, especially if Jalen Hurts is playing. They kind of feel like the 49ers have felt the past couple years. Obviously, the 49ers have taken a big step down, but it seems like the Eagles have kind of replaced them as that team. I mean, dude, they are absolutely stacked. It's crazy to have Saquon Barkley on that team. And just to see the year he's had, they did the smart thing by not trying to get him the record last week, so he's got some rest. Really, really like the Eagles minus 3.5 this week.
Okay. Commanders and Buccaneers. Commanders going on the road, and they are 3-point dogs. Man, this one is a game where this is a toss-up for me on if I want to play it or not. I want to take the Commanders here. With what Daniels has been phenomenal all season long.
Yes.
But man, something about Baker Mayfield, just I don't know. This is one that I think I'm going to wait on. I don't know what to do here. And normally when you don't know what to do, when you can't pick a side, probably ought to just stay away. So
right
at this moment, I'm staying away from it. I think this is really probably a coin flip type game, so which tells me that you want to take the Commanders if you're getting the points. So that's my lean. If I was going to play it, would be Commanders plus the 3, but at this moment, I am not going to play it.
Okay, yeah, I really want to do I really want to pick the Commanders as well, but I guess I'm going to stay away from this one. This is wild card weekend, and as exciting as it is, there's still going to be a lot more playoff football. So I'm going to stay away from that one as well. But man, what an intriguing game, because you've got Jaden Daniels, who everybody knew he was a great prospect coming out of college, but nobody expected him to have the rookie season that he did, especially at a place like Washington, because Washington's kind of famous for, even when they get good players to their team, it doesn't pan out. So just a really incredible story there. But then also Baker Mayfield, there's almost not a more incredible story in sports right now. Whenever you think of him, I saw a meme the other day, and it was like the Panthers had Baker Mayfield lining up as a defensive tackle 2 years ago today. Now he's throwing 5 touchdowns against the Panthers. And I was just like, dude, it is kind of wild, because I thought that guy was about to be out of the league. And he's been fireworks this year. So I'm very excited to watch that game, but I'm not going to bet on it.
Yeah, there was a picture that it was floating around last week or two, I don't know, a week or two ago. And it was him and Darnold. And it said, like, this was 3 years ago. And it was Darnold and Baker Mayfield running out together. And, obviously Sam Darnold, he's in the next game we're going to talk about. Who has had an incredible year with the Vikings. And with the Vikings and Rams game, that's the last one of the weekend. It's a Monday night game. That is a pick 'em. All right. So it's basically a toss up. I am going to go Vikings here with at LA. I'm taking the Vikings, and that's, my pick is solely based on how the Vikings have looked all season. I know that they played that a kind of a stinker game in that last one against the Lions on the road. But To me, Vikings are overall the better team here. It will be fun to watch. I think the Rams obviously have a ton of offensive firepower, but Vikings is my pick in the final game. That's my fourth game. I'm taking them on the road.
Taking the Vikings?
Yep.
Okay.
That is it.
Man, I'm going to take the Rams money line here.
It's a pick 'em.
Well,
what's it? What is it on yours?
DraftKings, it is I can get the Rams plus 1.5. That is the line. It's 1.5. So
Okay.
I'm just going to take Rams money line. It's minus 105. And two things here. I've got a little bit of bias because I bet a couple units on the Vikings against the Lions. I really thought that they could handle that game, but it seemed like the pressure was just too much for Sam Darnold. It was very, very frustrating watching him play if you had some money on him. I think the Rams are kind of the opposite spot as the Vikings. You know, the Vikings have overperformed this year. They've exceeded everybody's expectations. Sam Darnold has exceeded everybody's expectations. But I think you saw last week that he has a real potential to choke in the playoffs. It seemed like the pressure was too much for him. He missed a lot of really easy throws. So I'm gonna take Matt Stafford and the Rams. They've been here before. They've won a Super Bowl. Him and Sean McVay have won a Super Bowl together. It's at home. This seems like I like this pick a lot. So I'm gonna go Rams money line at minus 105, and that's gonna be my final pick for the wild card round.
So you got 3 of them. I've got 4 of them. So let's go ahead and review these, man. I'll go through mine real quick and let you get to taking care of old wifey.
Okay.
All right. I got the Chargers -2 at Houston. I've got the Broncos plus the 9 on the road at the Bills. I've got the Eagles minus the 4 at home against the Packers. And I've got the Vikings money line, pick them minus 110 against the Rams on the road. Those are my 4.
All right. I only did 3 games this week. I've got Broncos plus 9.5 on the road against the Buffalo Bills. I've got the Philadelphia Eagles at home, minus 3.5 against the Packers. Then I've got the LA Rams at home, money line against the Vikings. And yeah, I'm just super excited to watch the games that I'm able to watch this weekend. And for the games that I'm not able to watch, I'll record them and check them out when I'm able to check them out. So
Saturday's the big day, right?
Sunday.
All right. Sunday is the
Sunday
day.
At noon. Sunday at noon. We got our own little kickoff.
There you go. So. All right, brother. Well, we will be back for the divisional round. We'll be super pumped up for that because we'll have some Chiefs football that weekend. So,
right.
All right, brother. Well, here's to a great season so far. I was telling everybody while you stepped out at the very beginning, we've been a little bit above 500 pretty much all year long.
Right.
We just hovered there. We haven't really made money, but we haven't lost money. So if you take a year's worth of entertainment to get out here and put our picks out every week like we do, it's been a success. So yeah, let's keep it going, man. We'll see you here in a week, and cheers to Wildcard Weekend.
As they say in the furniture business, cheers. Kyle, that one's for you, buddy.
All right, buddy. We'll see you later.
All right, bye.